come here for WCS Challenger Playoffs Day number 1 for Europe as we get into ShoWTimE going up against Lambo, both of these players having come through that round of 16. Once again, it will be a best of 5 between these two, and Lambo has got a tall order ahead of him considering what we just saw from ShoWTimE there against ShoWTimE.
Yeah, I mean, Lambo, I would say, definitely has a quite different style than ShoWTimE, so maybe that can play in his favor, but ShoWTimE right now is just looking incredible in the matchup, and it's going to be tough for any Zerg to beat him. If I had to pick the Zergs that have the best chance to beat him in this tournament, I would say Nurcho and Serral. And even them, I wouldn't necessarily put as a favorite. Maybe Snoot, and then maybe next in line would be the guys like ShoWTimE and Lambo, but the last guy, ShoWTimE, that played against him was just 0-3, so yeah. We'll see if the Meisterschaft can be stopped. The true Meisterschaft. Actually, he's not even the Meisterschaft. He didn't win the last one, did he?
No, he didn't. I think probably Hero Marine won the last one. Or Lambo.
Basically anybody but ShoWTimE.
Yeah. And that's just a good point that is brought up in that conversation, is the fact that
all of them are the Meisterschaft, to be honest.
They're all the Meisterschafts, yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Okay.
All right, listen, when you have Nathania screaming the Meisterschaft non-stop, when any of these guys is playing at a tournament, then they are the Meisterschaft. That's all there is to it.
Scroll up who won the last one. I think it was Lambo against Hero Marine. Or was that not? No, that wasn't even recent.
Kung Fu Panda?
Kung Fu Panda? There's no way that's the most recent one. Kung Fu Panda and Hanfi in the final.
Well, all right, calm down now, Mr. Hater.
Maybe the other guys didn't play. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've actually cast the Meisterschaft, so there you go.
You miss it, don't you?
No. Right, let's get into it. Best of 5 up to the top left-hand corner. It will be ShoWTimE in the red. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have Lambo, who's in the blue as our Zerg. And the reason I don't is because I had to solo cast it, and as much as I used to be the solo cast king, not so much anymore. It can be draining, very draining. There you go.
Draining, huh?
Draining.
You casted a best of 69 once, all right? Like,
I did do that.
Nothing's draining after that.
Took 13 hours.
No, not even the heat of Shanghai and some StarCraft casting.
Don't do that. The last place I want to be on Earth is Shanghai in the middle of summer.
Last I am Shanghai was so funny.
Oh God!
Lycan walking around without his shirt.
I like that picture.
Camera.
I like that picture of him like trying to smuggle ice cream out of the shop, like shirtless. I'm like, what are you doing? When I turned into a waterfall that day, I
was so disappointed with the catering that I walked 5 minutes and ordered my own pizza.
Yeah,
it was like a Pizza Hut or something.
What,
and then everybody copied me, yeah.
In the venue?
Yeah, like not very far.
How didn't I know about
no, it was
this?
a Papa John's, I think. No, I think you got some too.
Papa John's. What was that? I don't know, I was glued to the desk. I always am when I'm the desk host. Can't go anywhere.
I was glued to my chair.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's going to happen. A little bit of a different option here from ShoWTimE, going for buildings all in base compared to prior when he was going up against ShoWTimE. So maybe a little read into how he anticipates Lambo going to be playing compared to ShoWTimE. As Nexus is going down, just starting that wall off at the front now. I think he realizes that Lambo is very unlikely to go for something more aggressive early on, so doesn't really need himself a good old wall to begin things. Obviously, these two players know each other very, very well.
With another Stargate play here out of ShoWTimE, you have to wonder, you know, Lambo was playing his own games. I think he finished, maybe he was in the midst of game number 2 of ShoWTimE. He might have had some time to tune in and watch a little bit of what ShoWTimE was doing.
True.
But even then, like, if you see somebody playing as well as ShoWTimE, it's still pretty hard to pick out stuff that you might be able to exploit, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's the beauty of ShoWTimE's style. He just kind of is solid all round against almost everything. Refined.
How much do you know about Team Armor Team?
A French team, if I recall, created by somebody who was previously at O Gaming, if I recall.
What?
Or was it previously Millennium?
Oh, yeah. Lewelis,
yes.
Oh, he wasn't created by him, but he was one of the main actors here on that team.
Okay.
So I think like he was like maybe 2002 or 2003, they announced that they had a big sponsor and they were going to build a Warcraft 3 team. And they organized a big tournament over in Paris with all the best French players to try and select all the best ones.
Yep.
And they ended up finding some of them, but not all of them. And then later on, they built a very strong Warcraft 3 team, and for a long time, they were one of the best European teams with a lot of players doing very well in multiple tournaments. I actually just posted a photo on Twitter, like a very old school photo from 2003 from CPL Cannes from 2003, where like you see a lot of guys that, you know, some of them are still around, some others not as much, but like, you know, everybody, you'd recognize, like if you know any of these guys, you'd recognize them. You recognize me on it.
Yeah.
I got like my head shaved. I'm wearing like
shaved?
Yeah. I'm wearing track pants.
Oh my God.
Like some sneaker shoes that are like really weird that I used to think were like really cool, but now I look at the photo, I'm like, God, what was I thinking? And like, so then they kind of died out. Then you had new multi-gaming teams like Millennium and stuff, but then after a disagreement with them, one of the guys that was one of the main influencers on the Millennium decided to revive Arma Team, which is Leolis, very recently. And because I guess ShoWTimE was very happy with his leadership, he just followed him immediately as the team was refounded recently.
Nice.
Hence why you've got Daishi and ShoWTimE on Arma Team currently.
Well, I appreciate the history lesson. I did not know about the old times of the team. I just assumed that they were a new team. There you go. Is this the picture? Oh my God.
Should we show it after on stream? Probably not.
Well, you can quite easily go over. Did you retweet it? Or? Yeah.
So it's so funny because like all of these guys are like very well known within the French scene. Like one of these guys, you know, is Intox. He's like the guy who won the first big, or like one of the first big Reign of Chaos tournaments. He played Night Elf, and like back then the Ancient of Wars had like so much armor that you could just, instead of making units, make a lot of production buildings that you would then just uproot and kill people. Yeah, they were like unkillable. It was insane.
Oh my God.
And then later on it got nerfed because like it was all that we were seeing in tournaments.
I like the idea of the patch notes coming out. We didn't really anticipate buildings winning matches, so we're just kind of going to be walking over. I say that, but say that to cannon rushes, and was the tower rushes in Warcraft 3 as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why not just grubby?
Yeah.
Hydra is then going down in the back of his main middle line here from Lambo, who's playing the usual Baneling Hydralisk style. And ShoWTimE, it looks like he's really found his standard style here that he likes to play with. With you know, this double Oracle into a Void Ray to kill the Overlords around his base. Charge and +1 starts after that. Like if you're a Protoss player that struggles against Zerg, make sure to take notes. Like the order that he does these things in is always the same, and it's worked out pretty well for him so far.
Yes, it has. The Oracle with a little bit more health is going to lead the charge into this location. Try and drop a Stasis Ward. Ooh.
Wow, he drops the Queen as well.
And the eggs once again. So
sick.
Very nicely done.
I guess you need to put that Spore more to the left-hand side, but like the spawning pole then might have blocked him a little bit.
Yeah. It's a bit of a...
It's going to be weird actually when these guys finish, because I think two of these drones were mining from the gas.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I see what you mean.
And now they're frozen.
Oh, now he's not doing anything.
Still, yeah.
Get to work!
Get back to work, alright?
Alright,
it's like me at the gym this morning.
Yeah?
I went to a kickboxing class, and then when the bell rang sometimes I had nothing left, so it took me some time to get back to it. I'm lucky though, this professor is like, you know, not a hard ass, right?
Right.
Some of them are like, come, let's go.
Yeah. Well, in that instance, they just want you to be the strongest you can be if they're hard on you.
Yeah, some of them like to push.
Yeah. Alright, well, Warp Prism down towards the bottom. See what these 4 Adepts can actually get done. Already Hydra's lurking down there.
Yeah, actually, ooh, ShoWTimE. I mean, you always expect ShoWTimE to react to this, but you never know, right? Like losing this could be quite bad just because of the threat it represents of being out on the map like this, the way it is. Man, these pylons around the 4th base.
He's gonna have to pick these up. Run away!
Look at those pylons on the 4th base.
Once again, the wall. It's like that film you watched that was rubbish.
Oh, please. Don't.
No,
So bad.
aren't the Zerg the little monsters that come along? And
I'll never forgive Matt Damon for this one.
No, it was that bad, huh? I tell you what was good. That film he was in on Mars. What was it called? That was good. The Martian.
Yeah, The Martian.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the French name because it's got a different name.
What's it called? Les Martians.
Seul sur Mars, which means alone on Mars.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
The translation doesn't really do the film justice.
Yeah.
Alone on Mars. I was like, yeah, I guess so.
The goal base. That is nice actually that Lambo made a bunch of spines there. It really bought him some time here for him to come back with the units and make sure he didn't take any damage.
So I'm still gaining some momentum.
ShoWTimE. I love like the standard that he has where like everything is so clean, you know, like the first 4 High Templars that he gets, he will keep in High Templars form so that they build up on energy. But then all of the new ones that he will make, oh, the force field!
My legs on to Storm! Oh, perfect.
What was that?
That was cheeky. That was, like it. Let's get some more of that.
Couple Zealots on the right-hand side trying to sneak past the Spine Crawlers and Queens. Gonna take a ton of damage. I think ShoWTimE's starting to feel confident enough at home that he's held. And he's whopping in Zealots at the bottom side of the map. Banelings rolling into the third base are going to blow up a ton of probes there.
You know, the best thing about all of this as well is that, actually, I thought that Lambo had hit this timing a little bit better than sort of. He kind of just like, he must have seen the last game and like learned some lessons, knowing what he could try and get away with, and got here a little quicker, but it's not done crippling damage just yet. Storms are landing on these Hydralisks.
He killed a ton of probes, which is huge
24.
there.
Yeah, not
but
bad.
he traded a lot of units here for them. There are still all of these Immortals left over. And remember, like, if you're not that cost effective, especially if you kill probes, it means you're not killing army instead. And then you might be exposed to a counter attack here from ShoWTimE, who's now ahead in supply.
Few free links. No, they even get out there. Base going to be up to the top right here for Lambo. There was some harassment going down into this base over here against Lambo, but overall, ShoWTimE's still alive. Needs to recreate the wall of pylons, I would say, at that 4th. Get that power back on that robo facility.
Yeah, the problem for ShoWTimE is that some of the item flaws that he had there for Storm got killed. What, was there a Baning Bomb here a second ago? No, he doesn't have Burrow, okay. That was weird, the Baning was like on its own out there. Yeah, so he has to replace those High Templars for Storm and then bank up a minimum of energy before finally moving out. You want to have at least, 4 to 6 Storms to make sure you can engage and shower this Zerg army in Storms and kill everything that they've got.
All right, so once again, the big split here for Lambo. Going in with a Concave, trying to find a better angle of attack. Sends one Ling in, triggers the Stasis Wall. Banelings go in, killing off those probes. As here come the Immortals. How well are these Lings and Banelings going to be able to do against those? The Archon at the front, trying to tank up as much of that as possible. The Immortals need to step forward. No Storms landed on these Hydralisks just yet. Trying to get on through these Immortals. Yes, the Hydras will get cleaned up and pushed away. The Immortals raining down a lot of damage on towards them. ShoWTimE holds on.
Lambo is doing a really good job of trading as well as he can there. He's just Hydralisks, Ling, Bane, but he's traded well enough that he's finally started to trade against a lot more of these Archons here at the front, kind of resetting that counts essentially, and kills so many probes here to that 4th base. Unpowered 2 gates as well in the meantime.
Ling's going to be heading into the 3rd base. Oh, the Stasis Ward was already triggered by just a few. They're going to try and find another way in, but no, that main base will block them.
Oh, they still get past.
Yeah. There was Banelings going into this base, but there's nothing for them really to kill, so they decided to walk away.
Yeah, that War Prism at the bottom really hasn't done that much for ShoWTimE. Every single time he sends these units forward, because Lambo is making a ton of Lings and Bane, he just, I guess, whatever comes out of his hatchery he fights with and cleans up.
Good snipe out there by 4 Hydralisks at the front, getting themselves a High Templar. Immortals trying to hold on line once again, but I don't know if it's going to be that easy this time, as Storms will rain down, morphing into an Archon now, and it has no more Storms available. The Hydras get pushed back, and this mid-game pressure from Lambo continues, or the mid-tier pressure continues.
Yeah, ShoWTimE is holding on. He needs to transfer some probes, though, from his natural and 3rd base onto that 4th. Start mining a little bit more from there.
Zealot's heading on down, using that Warp Prism to get some more harassment going on, but Workers killed not very high here for ShoWTimE. He's tried to put on a lot of pressure, but not really done too much with it.
Ooh, that one Baneling. Getting
bad.
6 probes there.
Trying to find some stasis wards in this area now, knowing that Lambo has been focusing it heavily.
This is like an evolved version of like tower defense, except it's Zerg defense.
Yeah. Stasis wards are the kicker.
Banelings at the top.
Let's get rolling on in. Needs to go a little bit further beyond that, and then we'll be able to get some towards the minerals, but no.
Not the worst reaction time, I see.
Not bad, not bad.
Please.
Baneling's morphing in towards the mid. Ling's going to try and run up toward that third again. No stasis ward.
Here's the thing, ShoWTimE has been hanging on, but he's only now still on that 4th base, whereas Lambo, he keeps on expanding. He's now up to 6 bases. So he's going to outmine ShoWTimE very heavily. Lambo, though, is finally kind of hit the brakes for a little bit, and he hasn't been attacking for a while. So he's essentially letting ShoWTimE build up a huge Archon count. And, well, to be honest, on High Templars, I don't think ShoWTimE's doing as well as he would like to be. He would like to have more High Templars with more energy here, but he's still got quite a few.
It feels like there's not much gas coming in for Lambo. I'm looking at the new bases, and they don't really have the gas gases going. There's a bit on the last bases, but would ideally like to be in a better spot with that, I suppose. And still keeping on top of things, though. Almost maxed out, so can't really complain.
Man, I watched this game and I keep thinking, like, how could ShoWTimE know that he shouldn't be attacking? Because, like, there could be lurkers on the way, right? And, like, you want to try and be more aggressive against that so you can start going around them. A huge run by here into the natural. It's going to be very hard to prevent.
Force field starts off that, though.
Yeah, and overcharge present as well.
Nice hold considering the amount of units you had there. But at the same time, Baneling's going to head into this base. Some Lings led the charge here to try and trigger a stasis ward. Cannon cleans up. Lings and Banes once again with the Hydras at the front of this natural. The constant attacks here from Zerg. Protoss holding on.
Lambo playing the exact same style here to what we saw in the previous game, actually, doing sort of versus ShoWTimE, but so far doing better, I think, with this. But he hasn't broken the Protoss player here just yet, who's starting to get closer and closer here in terms of army supply, just through getting all of these good trades.
Archon on the right-hand side dies off. More Archon step forwards, push that Zerg away as they go in the water and splash about a little bit.
ShoWTimE's going to need a new base really bad here. A lot of his probes are going to start being inactive.
Yeah.
And he's going to try and take it on the left-hand side, actually.
Yeah, he really wanted it down on here, but it got cancelled very quickly. So.
Oh, he's catching a lot of these units.
Nice, nice. For ShoWTimE. Army supply dead even right now.
Yeah, which should be good for Protoss, but again, those Banelings are still a huge threat. He's finally moving on creep. ShoWTimE's gonna go for it here.
Yeah,
he needs to wait and regroup with the rest of his army. Lambo's not gonna give him the time here. The Archons are not there.
High Templar's gonna be launched onto by these Zerglings, and they get so many of the kills before the storms even go off. This is a good fight here to start things for the Lambo, but at the same time, the Archons on the backside here get on those Hydralisks, and there's gonna be more reinforcements. Despite not really landing any storms, he somehow manages to win out that fight.
And the sentries weren't even there. I don't even want to imagine if they had been. ShoWTimE still wins. That style just cannot defeat him right now. Like, Lambo did so well, but still gets crushed towards the end here.
Yeah. That's crazy. To say that towards that last fight as well, the High Templars had the Lings just wrapped around them, and he got, like, one storm off. Immortal Archon. Powerful.
Let's take a look. Give me a second. At the brackets. Actually, we're not going to hold my screen.
Banana.
We had Nurture beat DNS 3-0. Hero Marine beat Hearthstone, actually 3-1. Very impressive.
Yeah, very good. And then moving on, of course, Namsha defeating Deep Drogo 3-2. That was quite the drawn-out battle. Snoot 3-1 over Soul. So you can see their bracket evolving on forwards. We're currently watching ShoWTimE versus Lambo. Mana was able to defeat Bly 3-1. And we did see Serral 3-1 against Zanster. Zanster, the newest member of Psystorm Gaming. So looking forward to seeing some of his performances.
Hero Marine actually ranked 21 on the WCS World Rankings currently. Like, I'm sure he would love to start scoring some more points, because he's definitely one of those players that has the potential here to qualify for the Global Finals if he puts on some good results in the upcoming WCS events here.
For sure. All right, we're getting into game number 2. What can defeat ShoWTimE? The thing is that if
Not Zerg.
No, apparently not. I'm curious to actually see what would he be against next? ShoWTimE.
Probably not a Zerg.
Maybe. It would probably be against Serral.
Well, wasn't it like this last time? Didn't he play like full Zergs?
I think he might have done, yeah. And then I think he might have gone up against Serral.
Yeah. And lost in the... Did he win both? No.
I can't fully remember because
Yeah,
I wasn't watching
check
it live because I was... What was I doing? I was busy. I was somewhere.
You're always busy, aren't you?
Admittedly, I'm very busy, yes. I know you're saying it in a joking way, but yes, I am.
Actually.
Oh, thank you. I can appreciate
Yeah,
that.
last time, ShoWTimE beat DNS in round 1 3-0, but then he beat Blythe 3-0, Nerdshow 3-2, Serral 3-2, and then Serral 3-2.
Oh, so we get a good old rematch if ShoWTimE's able to go through this.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right, let's get into it. As we have spawning up to the top right-hand corner. Why have I got the APM up? Oh, God. It's going to be ShoWTimE. One game up at the moment in this best of 5. Down at the bottom left-hand corner, trying a similar strategy there too, sort of, and almost executing it well enough, but unfortunately being pipped at the post is Lambo.
Being what?
Pipped at the post.
Pipped?
Pipped.
What does that mean?
Just slightly beaten by a whisker.
How do you spell it?
Pipped. I assume P-I-P-P-E-D. I don't know. I've never really had to spell it.
No way.
I think so.
going on Google.
Type in pipped at the post. It's absolutely a phrase. There you go. Pipped at the post. Pipped came from the name of the black ball. Pardon? It was called a pip after a pipped. After the pip. Okay, I'm not reading that.
So pip became another way of saying blackballed or defeated. How do you come up with these things?
Welcome to English language, my friend.
You studied that in school?
No. You just kind of learn a lot of weird phrases as you're growing up in England. Just kind of things.
A sense too of pip is to take a trick from an opponent's cards.
Circa 1885. Welcome to England, where everything's old-fashioned and honky-donkey. It's a weird place.
ShoWTimE on this map opened a little bit less safe than it does usually, but because you've got that pocket expansion that you can get away with very easily, it makes sense to go for a build order like that. We'll see. Actually, on this map, you don't even need to go for like double gateway in the wall, right? Because you've got it's one of the few maps where you have a small ramp. So for now, he's only going to stay on one gate, whereas a lot of the time, usually, he might have gone for double gates with double adept production into a Stargate. What do you think as far as opener? Because like there is a lot of options there. He can go Stargate, he can go Glaives, he can go Dark Shrine once again. Like anything could be fine. You could even play more defensive if you want to.
I would like to see the Stargate style again. We always used to see him throw it up above his main base, and then I would like to see how he would use the center, the stasis wards on this map, because we've seen it on Odyssey.
Ask and you shall receive.
Is it above them? Yeah, there we go. Sometimes I know some things that are happening in this video game.
On this map, like it's very tricky to place the spore super well that you can prevent stasis ward too. And like there is a lot of dead space behind the middle lines as well. You can come in like from a sneaky angle. It's very hard for Zerg to have overlords everywhere. Keep in mind, Lambo doesn't seem to want to get pneumatized carapace earlier on in those games. So I think ShoWTimE, he has picked up on that, and he makes a stalker. Look at this overlord. Where are you going, homie? Is he gonna see the Stargate? Yes.
Nice.
But he's gonna lose his life for it.
Yeah. I guess he's just going in further, just in case. May as well, as opposed to trying to retreat out if you're gonna die.
He had a duty, he did it well, and he died for it. Kind of like you and your casting.
Kind of. I guess so. I have a duty, and I gotta do it, regardless of how rubbish I am. But will be the evolution chamber going down here. Interesting. Is he going to go pneumatized carapace and then maybe try and lift in?
No, I think this might be for some upgrades.
Just like +1?
Yeah, you wouldn't go this late for... and also like to drop on most maps, you don't even get pneumatized carapace. You just morph in the overlords. Yeah, so like an evolution chamber like this, a lot of the time is going to be for melee +1, so that you can start on working on that. And then remember, when you get that +2, these banelings become that much scarier that when you drop them inside of mineral lines, they're going to blow up an entire probe line pretty much instantly.
All right, stasis wards beginning though, into the back of this mineral line. One Zergling sent forward. Good reactions by Lambo. Good eyes. Keen. Like
that's sick, actually, to have one link there just for that.
Yep. Very nice indeed. I wonder if he has them near the other mineral lines. Guess he's just going to have to pull them back as this continues. As the Spore Crawler on this left-hand side of the third base towards the back is going to be sitting around. Another Oracle is going to be flown into the main base. And it begins, Todd. It begins.
Yeah, let's see if he can try and get the lava again.
Yeah. I think he could. The Queen's responding well, though, for the position. That will get lava.
Goodbye, Queen.
Nice.
He should just patrol above it, because she can't do anything about it.
Boop, 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 boop. Trapped in time.
Oh, wow, actually, he got the lot in the natural. How did he get this much?
Yeah.
Without taking that much damage.
Don't know. Just kind
Sometimes
of.
a sick pilot.
He came in from the back here.
Came in like a wrecking ball.
I can take that for an Oracle. They look pretty much
Lambo
like
doesn't have much on the ground here in terms of Zerglings. And there is a lot of adepts here posturing forward. Let's see if a couple of drones can be had. No, he's just going to cancel. ShoWTimE not going to risk it. It's too good for that. Remember what happens when Twilight and Forge finish. It's going to be +1 and charge starting. The best part about watching this is that it inspires me to try that build.
Yeah.
I play a similar style, but overall still fairly different in terms of, you know, preciseness with the build order. Even that, like, look at this small detail. As soon as he started +1, and ShoWTimE knows that he's going to have enough gas momentarily for charge, he starts 3 sentries on his natural. That's a huge move in itself, because it's not too early that, you know, he's had to neglect something else, but it's quick enough that they're going to start on building up on energy a lot, and he's going to have force fields available defensively, which is super important, or even hallucinated phoenixes to scout with.
I like that he wants to hold with the pylons out here as well, compared to just like in this small choke. Because that means that he'll have a more open area to spread his army when greeting another army. I think that's cool.
Oh man, I've lost so many games with like a line of pylon back there and just like losing everything. Especially when Baning's rolling, it's like the worst feeling. Because you're like, not only they're going to blow up my pylons and snipe him, but they're also going to get the probes if you don't transfer them like early enough.
Now, interestingly, you did see the Spire going down, so he's making Phoenix to start things off now in response, as well as Storm is on the way. Phoenix really being the kicker there to actually deal with that Spire more so than the Storm, because storming Mutas and things like that is now an impossible, unless he's really just wanting to transition on very fast to the Hive and get that Greater Spire going quickly.
Yeah. But lots more gates here being added on. And again, that one War Prism was made. And I think it's really smart what ShoWTimE does. A lot of Protosses, they get a Prism and they feel like they have to use it. They send it, you know, towards their opponent's base. Early, actually, one of these Oracles here might fall. No, they're going to be able to get out. Yeah, so they send this Prism in when Zerg is completely ready. So then they end up losing a ton of units and just kind of throwing them away, not really achieving much with them. Whereas ShoWTimE has been very good at just staying out on the map here with this one War Prism and not committing to anything up until the point he knows that Zerg's out on the map, and then he's exposed back at home.
Here comes the Warp Prism. Those adepts going to be dropped in there, going to work on that Queen to start things off, but 2 split off to go for drones. And these can be picked up and pulled away. Hydralisks won't be fast enough to actually hunt that down. Still, the 2 Oracles are out and about. And this Void Ray, do your job. There we go. Well done. So, going to be taking the 4th base down towards the bottom, cannoning it up. The army of Ling, Bane, and Hydra is Baneless right now.
Look at ShoWTimE's 3rd base. He just swapped in number 3 and 4 High Templars, and then 5 and 6. He keeps the first 4 like this so that they build up on energy, because he's the first 4 that he got. So they're going to have the most energy. And then all of the new ones are going to be straight into Archons to be at the front and tank. So 4, the right number. Not too many, not too little. So that they build up on energy and have a lot of storms available for when Zerg finally ends up attacking.
Yep, it's a good choice. And there's more Archons morphing in. 2 Oracles managed to cancel a hatchery. Impressive. But the army here, as I said, Baneless right now. We're going to have all of the gas really being pumped towards Corruptors. As well as, oh, I say that, but he's now morphing in quite a few of them.
ShoWTimE saw the Hive morphing, so this might trigger an attack. Like, you don't want to let a Zerg get to Broodlords easily. I think he's definitely going to think about it. Maybe move forward. Remember, he has Storm. If he can clean up some of the creep here, stay at the edge of the crate. But it's very dangerous in an open area like this to be able to force field everything. And Lambo at the last second morphs in a ton of banelings.
And he doesn't have centrifugal hooks when he's actually being greeted. So I think he didn't really want to have to go banelings in this situation. Would have much rather ShoWTimE had been passive, but that's not the case. Corruptors, no.
Some great force fields and Storm synergy. I think ShoWTimE realized he might have started to get dicey here in a little bit, so he just pulled back for now with some forces.
Stasis Wars continue.
Oh, he's chasing this with just one Archon.
Get him. May as well, even if they have to turn around.
Look at these guys.
Be inefficient there for Zerg.
Wow, that is a lot of banings for just one Archon there. Still force fields and storms available here for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, quite a few left here as well. The Zealots are actually in the back here, going to be worked on. That's a great little force field as well as the banelings going down to Storm. And the Hydralists on the left-hand side are getting absolutely ripped apart. Not much left here for Lambo at all, going up against this perfect little timing coming out from ShoWTimE. What is going to stop the Immortal Archon High Templar plane train? I don't know, 2-0 currently to ShoWTimE.
That guy is a beast. Like every single detail that I talked about, the first 3 sentries that he warped in, they had so much energy here. If he hadn't done that, if he doesn't have the force fields, then he has to rely on pure storms, and then he might not be able to do nearly as well as he did there. Same thing with the first 4 High Templars. You know, if you do this wrong, if you kind of panic, you get a bunch of Archons at first and then warp in your High Templars, they're not going to have as much energy as they did there for him to land all these storms. Yep. Even the micro in the actual fight here from ShoWTimE was quite clean. I love that he didn't just warp in a ton of Zealots and additional Archons as well, because he realized that these banelings, some of them were still going to detonate. He needed more DPS behind it, so he was like, you know what, I'm just going to add a couple Stalkers here to my mix. And these guys did well. They ended up sniping some units as well and kept a huge chunk of his army alive.
Well, this isn't a map that I was expecting to get to, but I guess it being best of 5, sometimes it's going to be cropping up. Sequencer is going to be our next map, which for Protoss versus Zerg, would you say it's relatively open and a bit harder for Protoss? What do you think about this map?
Yeah, it can be tough, to be honest, like with the style that ShoWTimE has been playing and how well he's been playing in general. Like, I don't know if I'm that worried for him, because one of the key factors of this map is that it's a longer rush distance. It's a very, very long rush distance. So he might be fine playing the same style that he's been playing, and I'm pretty sure it might be on the cards, Skylars. All
right, let's get into it. Game number 3. Up to the top right-hand corner here, we do have ShoWTimE in the red, who at the moment is en route to not drop a single map in his first 2 series.
Yeah.
And down to the bottom left, we do have Lambo, arguably the challenger here now. Gone down 2 games with the styles that he's been utilizing. Needs to find an answer here.
Again, Lambo, just like sort of, I think he's a good player and he's been playing quite good. It's just that ShoWTimE is on another level currently. I like that Lambo tried to mix in something different in the previous game, in going for the Hive and Broodlords quicker than most people would. But you mentioned, you know, he forgot centrifugal hooks, or maybe he just didn't want to get it. This may have been a very big mistake. Like, it's not, I don't think, that costly that you have to skip that for such a long time. Maybe getting a couple additional spine crawlers, centrifugal hooks, threatening to come in from behind with a lot of banelings might have been able to buy him time to Broodlords, in which case it becomes a new game, a completely different new game.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if you can get these guys before there is any kind of, you know, Tempest or Carrier out.
Do you think that that's the critical analysis from Lambo coming in and saying, okay, game 1, I think I had you on the ropes with that style, wasn't able to work out. Game number 2, I have to change something up? Or what do you think?
Keep in mind, like, he cannot see the whole map like we do.
Yeah.
So he has to draw his own conclusions from just what he saw. And also, like, for us, we're commentating, you know, we're getting excited about the game, but we don't have the same emotional investment that he does, you know? Like, sometimes you think about what's going to be the exact right analysis from a spectator's point of view, but, like, all Lambo might be thinking right now is like, oh my God, Protoss is insane.
Yeah.
so I'm not sure exactly how he's going about, you know, playing up against ShoWTimE here in this series, but hopefully he can remain calm, make some good adjustments, and put up a fight and maybe open the scoreboard here to try and bring this back.
Maybe. And there's going to be a few lings on the way. Nothing too special as Stargate goes down all the way at the back. And Adept will be chrono boosted out, so technically speaking, the Overlord's just going to be on the way and seeing what he can find. So
I was mentioning, you know, the dynamic of this map is quite different than most others, just because it's a very long rush distance, and that kind of negates the fact that it's such an open wall. It's still going to be very hard, you know, to go for an all-in that will break that location, just because the rush distance takes quite a while to complete. Keep in mind, on the third base of both players, there is only 1 gas. So as opposed to on most maps, they would want to try and take a 4th base quicker. And sometimes, especially if you're Zerg, I guess, but also in ShoWTimE's case, you can forego taking that 1 base that has only 1 gas and instead go on the other side.
Yeah, it seems like that's what Lambo's been doing. And this probe, actually already putting it down a pylon here just in case. Well, 1, to keep an eye on these rocks, and then 2, to potentially even just prepare for later on in the game.
Yeah, this may just be for vision. We'll see if he actually wants to expand there. Well, the additional gates, ShoWTimE. Taking his sweet time with that, even though speed just finished. You know, there could have been links running in.
Yeah.
And remember that he skips Mothership for quite a long time.
Very big map in terms of openness here, as ShoWTimE's going to send his Adepts down towards the backside here.
That's a complete wall. Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah, between the debris and gate, it looks like there is space, but
debris. No. Nice. Okay. And we will see the Oracle now leading the charge down towards what is soon to be the natural...
Yeah, I think it's the perfect location to hit. If he can get those lava! Oh my god. He goes instead for some kills here on some of these drones.
Perfectly done. I mean, there's no... The timing on the Spore Crawler was just a little late, so gets 5 of them himself! Oh my god, how does he get out? And there are still the 2 Adepts down to the bottom right, saved up, ready to go if needs be towards that 3rd base. I guess they're just waiting for a proper transfer towards that 3rd.
If only the dodge ban ran as well as ShoWTimE's piloting here of these oracles.
That won't happen until 2100, my friend. But it will be still more kills going down. Oh my god, the Oracle gets out still. They're so low, but they get out. And now here comes the Adept. It never ends, Todd.
Is there any overlord assignment? Okay, yeah, there's 1 overlord above the natural of ShoWTimE there. That's all Lambo will have to try and scout something. He hasn't seen the 3rd base right now even. He's just so busy at home trying to defend against this and taking drone losses.
And did he see a probe go down there, at least? I don't know, but...
That Voidray is on the hunt too. Okay, no, there is an overlord that saw the main base. No pneumatized scout base still got there.
Okay. Stasis ward, wherever it may be. 1 drone as well as the lava gets trapped.
Wow.
That's actually... It's actually, I guess, very efficient to make sure that you're always capturing the lava, because the lava can't move. They can't.
And also, like, you prevent
escape.
some mining time. Like, look in the main base of Lambo. Like, sure, ShoWTimE only got 1 drone, but he forced a lot of drones to be pulled away from that mirror line for a moment. If you micro these oracles well enough too, unless Zerg has like a ton of queens and you really mess up, you shouldn't be losing them. And ShoWTimE is just a master at flying these guys.
Yes, he is. They will stay alive for a while. That's going to be Gateway going down here to start preparing for potentially taking this base as he's taking the 3rd.
Okay, ShoWTimE went for lots sentry heavier composition here, by the way, in the meantime. Remember, like, usually this is where you would start +1 and charge, and then get some more sentries, perhaps. Whereas now he's already got this many sentries, so maybe he might play differently. Sometimes blink is possible, even though you don't have to go for that. And something that we've seen him do earlier as well was getting a bunch of Immortals and then just going for an attack instead of taking to any kind of Templar Archives. But that was when he had opened Dark Shrine.
Noticeably, this wall does have a small hole in it towards the 3rd base, so he's got to be careful about either plugging that up later on or just using a unit or 2 to defend.
ShoWTimE still hasn't started anything out of this Twilight Council and Forge. I wonder what's in the plans there.
Keeping us in a moment of suspense.
Oh, 2nd Robo and Robo Bay instead.
Ooh, wait, was all this scouted? Oh, he didn't see the Twilight Council. I mean...
I'm not sure what ShoWTimE is thinking exactly. I think he might have seen... He saw the Hydra then in the main base. He might not have been able to spot the Baning Nest because he saw it as a building that was on the way in the main base instead. So he might be thinking there's a good chance he's going to go Lurkers, and regardless of if he does, even if he goes for the regular Hydra Ben, again, it's very long rush distance on this map. If I just go a ton of Blink Stalkers, with sentries, they synergize very well. You know, I mentioned this as soon as I saw this many sentries.
Yeah.
You get Disruptors on top of that, and you're golden. Even if the Zerg goes Lurkers, you're in a great position. If he doesn't go Lurkers, this can still work with thanks to the force fields and Disruptors.
Yep.
Like, at the moment, ShoWTimE will have 160 army, then he might be able to fight super well against his army. And in this case, he even goes Colossus. That's even better. He knows that Lambo will be staying on Hydralisk Link Bane, because it's very hard to go drop, right?
Yeah.
I guess even if you go drop against, say, Zealots and Archons, you might not be able to be cost effective against somebody that splits. So dropping on top of this army, like, you know, the Overlords will die, the Banelings won't even do that much. But in this case, most Zergs don't even go for drop. So how are you going to engage into this army? It's going to be like the old school Wings of Liberty, in which case, like, or even Heart of the Swarm, where Zerg, they really wouldn't go for...
Yeah, time has moved on. Normally you would have a Spire in preparation for Corruptors and things like that for the Colossi, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't really happen too often anymore unless you're trying to do what game number 2 was, which was an attempt at a rush straight to Broodlords. But
ShoWTimE is just so good as well at scouting with these hallucinated Phoenixes. He's got a bunch of units all around, like that one observer right there. He's like such a great scout too, and he knows that at this point Lambo is going to be splitting across multiple locations to try and get some good attack going.
There is a big Warp Prism down towards the bottom that's going to be able to get that hatchery, but at the same time, Lambo trying to hit
on the left-hand side, yeah, ShoWTimE's engaging into this. He's going to section off some of these Hydralisks, and as soon as ShoWTimE reaches 4 Colossi, or maybe 6, like this is really bad for Lambo. You just can't fight anymore.
Bane's going to attempt an attack here, but no use whatsoever. Here comes the Warp Prism again into another base, just dropping against this Hydralisk there to actually start preventing whatever's going on there.
Can you show units lost for 1 second?
Units lost.
No, just L. Just the L one.
Oh, just the L one. There you go.
How do you think about these numbers?
It's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, it's not bad.
These zealots at the bottom actually got that whole base.
Yep.
No, they kind of left down there.
Every little attack that was attempted there by Lambo was just thwarted. And now we have a heightened Colossus number 4 going up against Ling Hydra in mid. If he doesn't get a massive flank and somehow kill off vulnerable Colossi...
Oh, Hydra is being caught in the middle of the map. Lambo's gonna morph a ton of Banelings, but again, look at how many force fields there are. I don't even want you to look at the supply forms. Look at the force fields and sentries.
Yeah, the map might be open in terms of the attack paths, but in terms of the chokes everywhere because of ramps...
Oh, look, he warps in sentries.
Oh my god. He's just gonna have...
ShoWTimE is about to redesign the map.
Yes, he is. He's the architect. ShoWTimE is the architect. Oh my god.
Dressed all in white and...
Yeah. He's got his... Oh my god. Oh, and he even catches so many of the Banelings and they get roasted up here by the Colossi. And never mind the Banelings trying to come in from the back. They are taken out, and also Warp Prism Micro on some of these Colossus as well, making sure that they're not going to be vulnerable at all here. ShoWTimE rips up this light-based army once again. The architect creates the walls, brings it down. GG, well played. ShoWTimE. Ho, ho, ho.
Wow. A good warm-up for maybe the rest of the Protoss vs Zergs we might see him being involved in. Absolutely insane here. Controlled decision-making, sees the amount of Banelings. That one Stalker at the front as well was quite brilliant. A lot of Protosses will be like, nah, I want to keep that one Stalker alive for the fight. No, you want to know what your opponent has as an army. You know, most Terrans, they're very accustomed to sending a Marine forward, to seeing exactly how many Banelings the opponent has. Protosses, not so much. Sometimes you get surprised. If ShoWTimE hadn't warped in the extra sentries here, he might not have had enough force fields to surround his whole army and then win the fight. This may have been a deciding factor as well. So brilliant the whole way there.
Definitely. I can see him get with his big piece of paper out, get his ruler, getting line down there, line down there. The Colossi, lines everywhere. Perfect. Very well done by ShoWTimE.
ShoWTimE's dad watching the stream from the living room.
He's proud.
This is ShoWTimE's scarf. That's my son.
Yeah.
You throw down these force fields. I scream on me later. No, maybe he's not that young.
All right, perfect stuff there by ShoWTimE. He advances on to the semifinals. We'll be seeing him in just a few moments' time as well, because we are going to be covering both of the semifinals in the upper bracket, and those matches will qualify people for WCS Jönköping. So ShoWTimE 1 series away after being victorious in that previous challenger.
That's straight for group stage 3, by the way,
yes,
which is the round of 32. That plays a big deal. If you're not qualified, you have to go there, play in an open format tournament, and you have to go through 2 first group stages, which I'm sure, like, some people, you know, that are like optimistic and cup half full kind of people, they might be like, oh yeah, that's a great warm-up. Well, it's also kind of exhausting, so...
Yeah, it's like a total of 80-some players going into tournament at the beginning, of course, with some of them decided previously and it's crazy stuff. That does it for us for this series, of course. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to a break, but when we are back, we're going to figure out which of our 2 first semi-finals we're going to show and figure out who is going to be qualified here for WCS Jönköping.